Good evening and welcome to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960 AM News Talk Radio every Monday through Friday on this radio station. I have the privilege of bringing you interviews with some interesting people from primarily Mississauga and the Greater Toronto Area. But tonight, what I decided to do is to bring you a couple of my favorite performers that have really, frankly, scattered across the globe. And so I thought it'd be interesting to catch up with them, find out what's going on with COVID-19 and the coronavirus in their own community. And then also, I think all of us are a little bit concerned about friends of ours that have got challenging jobs in this environment, whether it's that they've been laid off or they're not getting work, or I imagine performers are really challenged in work. And so I thought we'd check in with them and find out what they're doing, how they're making, whether they're recording, whether they're able to perform virtually, etc. So first of all, I'd like to introduce you to Steve, is it Varga?
Yeah, yes.
And Steve, you're coming to us from where? From Budapest, Hungary?
Yes, Budapest.
And whereabouts in Budapest? Yeah. Are you right downtown or on the Buda side or the hillside?
Buda is the hillside. I'm on the Pest side, which is, I'm fairly close to downtown, but far enough to stay out of trouble. So.
Which is the valley side, I presume.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. And Elise, where are you coming to us from? Elise? We're going to come back to you because it sounds like your internet is falling apart. Ilona, yes. How are you? Ilona?
Not too bad. It's actually 10 o'clock here, 10:08. Yes, can you hear me? Yes, hello?
Yeah. And where
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm actually right now in Krakow, about 8 kilometers, I believe, from the downtown of Krakow. So yes, it's pretty quiet here.
And have you been social distancing and staying inside in Poland?
Of course, all the time. Actually, I'm here stuck at home. Well, for the last, I guess, 3 weeks. Yeah. And with kids, I do online work from here, from home. I try to sing, but right now I'm living in an apartment building, so my neighbors don't really like loud noises. I guess it's just tough to sit at home all day. And so I'm quite busy, actually. I'm very, very busy, more busy than when it's actually a normal time.
Oh, really?
And no cooking, so yeah.
Well, that's good. Now, Elise, we'll come back to you. I apologize. Let's see if the internet's working this time.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm from Poland, and right now I'm in Pszczyna. It's quite near to Katowice airport. And I like this place so much because after the Color Love concert, I moved in here and I'm living with my boyfriend right now. We have studio here and it's a lot of music time. He's a guitarist and I'm so happy because love is in the air.
Love is in the air. Well, that's fantastic. Congratulations. That's good. So you're social isolating with someone special.
Yes.
Well, that's good. So tell us, what's the style of music that you play? I would have described it as sort of pop rock. Is that correct?
Oh my goodness, it's hard to say because I started with dance music. Before dance music, it was a rock. After dance music, it was pop dance. And right now, a new single is a pop rock, pop country, I think. So I'm not in one style, right? And I like experiments and stuff like this.
And Steve, what about you? What would I describe your music style as? Sort of classic rock and roll?
Well, I played in just before leaving Toronto, I was in a Bob Seger tribute band. But I mean, my heart's in a lot of places with genres. I'm currently writing my own stuff now, and it's more soul, R&B, kind of what you would hear at where I would see you all the time before. What was it?
Sophia's restaurant.
Sophia, yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So more of that sound is something that I really like. I like rock too, but I'm also so all over the place.
And do you have the same problem that Ilona has, that you can't play your guitar too loudly because the neighbors will complain, or do you have stick in your earphones or something?
No complaints yet. I have pretty loud neighbors, so if they do complain, they shouldn't. Because I hear them all the time. Yeah, but I also have headphones if worst comes to worst.
And Ilona, what about you? What would I describe your music as? I would have said that sometimes it has sort of a country feel to it as well, but what, pop folk?
Okay, so it's also difficult to describe, since when you write your own music, it's very hard to put yourself in a style. So I think adult contemporary would be the best description right now, because I'm also all over the place with styles and changes with how I change as a person. So yes, I also started with dance music, and then it was more pop, rock, everything. So anyway, so now I guess it's difficult to describe, and I don't know which direction it's going to go, but definitely it's going to be my own. Just going back to the neighbor situation, actually, I'm not giving up. I have my own little studio here in this apartment, and I'm actually involved in 2 projects right now, and one is with Eliza, right? Eliza,
Yeah.
we're doing. I'm actually I can say it. It's a Colors of Love song online. So another project is a song that I wrote, and it's called, the English title is "The Power in Us." So the song actually I wrote over a year ago, and in Polish, and it's called Siła jest w nas, and it's in English translation is Power in Us. And the lyrics, believe it or not, they actually match the situation today about the quarantine and the coronavirus. I'm not using those words, of course,
Right.
but when I wrote that song and I recorded it as a duet in Polish, I put it aside. I said, okay, you know what, maybe it's not the time right now to even like publish it anywhere, just leave it. And it's going the right time is going to come for this song to make sense. And actually about 3 weeks ago, I'm thinking, what am I going to do here? Just stuck at home for such a long time as an artist. I need to create, I need to sing. And actually I listened to this song, and I'm thinking, no, I need to do something with it, because it's exactly what we have right now, what we're in right now. So I actually created a video clip for that song. And it's already all on YouTube, and it's been played on several radio stations. And actually what I'm working on right now is an English version of it. And actually I have artists from all over the place, also from all over the world. So we're doing it together. And yeah, so it's a good project, and I'm really, really excited about it. And and Carolina Ingleton, she actually translated the lyrics to English, so the lyrics are also beautiful.
Fantastic. Well, we'll have to get you to debut the song on my show. Anyway, we're going to take a break for messages. We're going to come back with Lisa, Ilona, and Steve in just a minute. Stay with us.
Like anything?
Well, welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960 AM. We're chatting tonight with 3 fantastic artists that have all played in Toronto in the past, and all have come here at different times. 2 of them have actually performed in a concert series that I was involved in called Colors of Love. And I guess, Stephen, you actually sort of did, because you were probably in the backing music for someone else that performed at one of the concerts. And I've had the opportunity to watch each one of you in performance, and all of you are spectacular. And I really wanted to check in with you and find out, since you're all not in Toronto, what's going on in your home city with COVID-19. What are the infection rates, the death rates, the attitudes in the streets? Are people respecting the stay at home? What's the feeling of everything? Maybe Steve, we could start with you in Budapest, Hungary. What's going on there?
Sure. Well, it's very quiet. I think people are respecting the responsibility of having to stay home. Grocery stores are pretty good compared to Canada from what I've seen. I have no problem finding food. There's the 2 meters that they've laid out in the aisles. There's glass shields around cashiers. Everyone is wearing a mask.
Everyone's wearing masks.
Gloves,
the regular surgical masks,
yeah,
or just bandanas?
There's surgical, the blue, medical masks. For the most part, I'd say 80% of people that I cross in the street,
Right.
6 feet distance, of course, are wearing those. And there's the infection right now is, I think, just over 500 in Budapest, which is, I think, a lot, because it's not a big country, not a big city, and who knows what the real numbers are. That's just going by what they've tested so far.
Yeah. And are there a lot of deaths as well? Are the hospitals filled, or is it just the beginning of the infection?
I would say the first infection came around 3 weeks ago. A few have died. I'm not sure on the exact numbers right now, on the updated numbers. A few have died, though.
Yeah. And Eliza, what's happening in Poland?
In Poland, we have seen like from Walking Dead film, and everything is so quiet, and too quiet maybe. Everything is closed. If we talk about companies, a few of shops are open in, in the middle of the day, and we have a special time for the oldest people, and what can I say more? I stopped watching TV because there's a lot of information which makes me depressed, so I try to be more positive and keep calm.
And what about the rest of the community? Do you get a sense that people are supportive? One of the interesting things, and I'm not sure what it's like in Hungary or in Poland, but all of you have been in Toronto and you know this. So we watch a lot of American TV and a lot of American news, and there's been such a juxtaposition between partisanship in the United States and real critiques of the president and his behavior, versus in Canada, people sort of go with the flow and sort of respect what the leaders are doing. What's it like in Poland? Are people respecting what your leaders are saying?
Yes, definitely, absolutely. The best option for all of us, I think, it was close to the schools, and I'm a vocal coach, so I'm working in the school. So it's close to. So I'm so happy that everyone is responsible for this situation, and we are like family right now. Everyone, I'm stay home right now, and I see a lot of people in the shop, for example, and for one cashier, you something like this. Everyone has gloves, and not many people wearing masks here in China. But I feel that they are responsible. Absolutely.
And Ilona, maybe I can ask you a question. I know in addition to being a performer, you're a scientist and a mathematician. And it seems like statisticians and scientists have taken over for the first time. We're listening to these epidemiologists or whatever it's called, and their curves that they're describing. And for the first time in history, we're actually listening to scientists and statisticians. What's going on?
Well, right now we don't have enough data to actually be able to give you a prediction model that we can say it's going to work. So I'm not an epidemiologist, so I'm not going to say anything. No one knows. Although actually we can hope for the best, and I've seen some models, the best case and worst case, and of course it all depends on us because the virus, it needs us to actually transfer. So as a mathematician, I can say I'm working very hard with my students right now online. So but not on the models. We have so much work, and all the lectures are on all the units are closed as well. I guess as in Canada and in most countries in the world. I'm trying to keep positive, and also I do sometimes follow the news, and I have a tendency to check the website. I'm sure you all know it. It's called worldmeters.info.
Yep.
And I just get all the information from there, and of course seeing more numbers and how like it changes. Yeah, sometimes it could be really depressing, but I'm trying to stay calm and positive. And actually, I can't wait to go to Canada. I had my ticket actually booked and last week, but I had to cancel, and I miss Canada so much.
You had a
So,
ticket
yes.
to come back to Canada and you couldn't come.
Yes. No, I had to cancel. Of course, I got a refund, but yes, my trip will happen, I guess, in August. Yes.
Now,
So if everything goes well.
that raises an
Yeah.
interesting question, because a lot of the reason why a lot of Canadians have come back to Canada is because our healthcare system is better than in the United States. What's the healthcare system in Poland like? Do you get full coverage for the testing for COVID-19? And if you actually got it, would you get full coverage in Poland?
Actually, I'm not sure. I don't think we have to pay for it, but you have to qualify. You have to qualify for the testing. So not everyone gets tested. That's from what I know, what I've heard. I can't tell you all the details. I don't know exactly what you have to qualify with to get tested, actually, but I think it's very similar to Canada, and actually the atmosphere and everything is similar to what we have in Canada. I talk to my Canadian friends every single day, so I get all the information, and it's very much comparable to what you see in Canada right now. It's the situation is actually very similar to Krakow, at least, and the atmosphere and the stores are 2 meters apart, and it's like we're building a new culture now. No hugging, no, like, even when people get close to each other, they're like, oh my goodness, it's like such a different thing now. We're scared, we're afraid. So yes, I guess we are all just waiting to
Steve, what about
for this to change.
Budapest? What's the healthcare system like in Budapest? Is it socialized medicine, one-payer system, or is it more like the United States?
It's not the greatest. I've never experienced it personally. I have had family where the care could be a lot better. That's one of the biggest complaints with the government here, is people are really fed up with how lousy the medical system is here. I bought private health insurance when I arrived, and an all English speaking staff, because the languages I'm learning. I got an email from my doctor saying, if you have any worries, first we'll do a video assessment to see your symptoms, and then if we feel like you need to come in, then they'll set something up, or they'll have someone bring me in. Yeah.
Now, what about your performance? Each one of you are fantastic performers. What do you do when all of a sudden for 3 weeks you can't go into a restaurant or a concert hall or somewhere and perform? What do you do?
Write, create, I guess, listen to music, get inspired by other artists, and also right now, as I mentioned at the beginning,
you're writing a song?
of this. Yes, we're recording. So I have a little studio here, and I'm just.
And Steve, you said you're writing your own music.
Yes.
Is this something you did before, or is this something you just embarked on now during this time at home?
Since I moved here, it's kind of a big reason why I came here, is to kind of get more time back in my life to do things that I want to do. I was basically self-quarantining for 6 months before this all happened, so it's not a huge shift for me, except for I can't go out, enjoy live music, or connect with other musicians here. So the networking has grinded to a halt. But there's a million other things I can do to get better. I mean, the financial side of it, we can't perform live, so that takes a hit.
Yep.
But
now I know you were, I think, doing some teaching as well, some English as a second language. Are you able to keep that business going?
Yes, that has been pretty good. that hasn't really been affected. You know, it's online, and they're mainly Chinese students, and even through back in February, January, it was interesting to see. I felt really bad for them because they were stuck at home.
I think I've lost you. Lisa, are you there?
The old students kind of filled me in, like, what's going on?
Yes, I am.
Am I cut out now? Can you hear me?
I think you're back now.
Okay.
And
Yes.
what about you, Elise? Are you writing as well?
This time is for me so special, if I can use words like this, because day before stuff like coronavirus in Poland and big bomb in media, we released our new album in Polish, and I had a call, come here, and it was so hard for us because in one moment everything was in ruin, because a lot of concerts, a lot of events, weddings, and place where we can play daily was closed. And I'm a musician, I'm a singer, so it's the only thing for me what can help me earn some money. So for myself it was very hard situation, like for all of people like me.
Yeah.
But I try to stay positive, I try to create new music. We're with my friend a lot of time in the studio, and we try to create songs. And right now it was the best time because, as you know, during the Colors of Love, the concert, I sang the song "You've Been on My Mind." It was first single when I wrote in English by myself. So my English is still poor, but but I try to be better and better day after day. So I thought that it was the best time to publish this song, and I done. And right now it's the best time to spread it outside because it's song about love, and I think that we need a lot of love right now.
I don't think there's any question. We do need a lot of love right now. But it's interesting that each one of you has taken the opportunity, whether it's in Steve's 6 months worth of self-isolation or just your 1 month of self-isolation, to find ourselves and to express ourselves. And as Alona said, be creative. And I think that's the right inspiration that we need. Too many people are just hunkering down and just waiting till this is all over. And it's not going to be over tomorrow. And so making sure that we can be productive and efficient and creative is probably a secret. Anyway, I'm going to take another break for messages. I'm going to come back and I'm going to ask each one of you to tell us a little bit about your careers and some of your most memorable performances, if we could. So everyone stay with us. We're going to come back with Elise and Alona and Stephen from some city in Poland I can't pronounce, Krakow, Poland, Budapest, Hungary, and me here in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Stay with us. Well, welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960 AM News Talk Radio. We're having a chat with some friends of mine that are performers that are spread out around the world in Poland and in Hungary. We were supposed to have someone from Italy and someone from LA join us, and whatever technology, it didn't happen. So we'll get them to connect in later. Anyway, we've got Stephen Varga from Budapest, Hungary. Alona, what's your last name?
It's actually, in papers, it's Urbaniak, my married name, last name, but actually my artistic name is Kowalik, so I kept my maiden last name.
Ilona Kowalik from
Ilona Anna Kowalik.
From Krakow. And Elise, I can't pronounce your last name.
It's my artistic name, and I like it a lot because my real name is Elisa. I prefer Elise, and it's shorter and nicer.
I'd love to hear a little bit about how you guys got started in the music business. Stephen, what's your story? I know you've spent time in Toronto and you've spent time in Hungary. When did you get into to music, and has it always been the guitar that you've focused on?
It's always been the guitar. Yes, it was always been the guitar. I was around 19 when I started to play. I was out of high school. I wanted to go into Humber for guitar. I didn't get in, so I kind of took time off. And then during that time, I was working. I joined a band in Toronto. It was a rock band called Killing Hollywood.
Killing Hollywood?
Eventually, yeah.
Killing
It was like
Hollywood.
a very punk pop kind of band. So I played almost all the venues except ACC in Toronto. Did my rounds there. In came Anna Sazon, who was on your show earlier. Then went to go play guitar for her solo work, which brought me to a lot of great places. I played in some places in Poland. We played in China together, all over Toronto. Yeah. And now, basically, just before coming here, I was with Against the Wind, which is the Bob Seger tribute, which took me to the States. And I went back to school, finally got my degree in music 2 years ago now. And now I'm here, just writing, keeping on.
What's your most
improving.
memorable performance?
I have a few. There was one at the Mod Club, which was sold out, which the energy was pretty uncomparable to anything else. That I've always been chasing after that show, that same vibe, but it's never happened yet. Another one would be Del Cray Park in, where was that? Bradford? East of the city of Toronto. It was out there, but that was about 8,000 people, which was the biggest I've played, and that was an experience.
Why was that an experience? Do you get some different feel when you've got 8,000 people rocking to your music?
Yes. Yeah, to hear the cheers. I mean, it wasn't original music, but there was still something that gives you the shivers, and you're like, you can't really see the back of the crowd at that point when you're on the stage. So that was really cool.
Yeah,
to have that many people. Yeah.
And what's your favorite guitar solo to play?
Oh, guitar solo. I mean, there's lots of solos that are great. There's a lot of guitar players I like, but I don't think anybody else would really know who I'm talking about. Of like fusion guitar players, I like jazz guitar players and guys like that.
And if you had the dream of getting on stage and playing with one person that you'd really like to play with, either a vocalist or someone else playing a different instrument, who would that be and why?
It would have to be with Jamiroquai.
And why?
They're like on
Have we lost you?
Jazz and like a lot of group. Oh, did you lose me?
No, you're back.
Yeah, they just have really feel good songs. They have amazing groove section. JK is an amazing vocalist. They write really good lyrics. That's just always been my number one.
So you will probably be shocked and amazed at this since you know me a little bit, but I actually was in a band when I was in high school too, and I played the guitar. I know you don't believe that. And I was, in addition to being the guitarist, I was the lead vocalist at the same time.
No way.
I was.
Right.
And after I left, the band went on to become a very famous punk rock band in Toronto. They weren't famous when I was part of them, but after I left, for whatever strange reason, they actually did quite well. But my dream was to play with the Gypsy Kings, because I thought and still think that the best guitarists in the world, other than me, of course, are the Gypsy Kings.
I'm surprised you said Gypsy Kings. I thought you would say Earth, Wind, and Fire. And
That's who I
I know
want
you
to sing
really
with. I want to sing and dance to Earth, Wind, and Fire, but not play the guitar. Actually,
they're my style.
the only lead that's still with Earth, Wind, and Fire that plays an instrument is the bassist.
Oh, is it just the bassist now?
I think
Jeez.
everyone else is just a singer that's still remaining. Anyway, Elise, tell us about you. What's your story? How did you get into to music? Have you always been singing? Like at 3 years old, you start singing in some Polish church?
No, I don't have I don't have okay. My story is, I think, colorful, and I have 24 years old right now.
Yeah.
And I sing when I was 11 or 12. And before I played the piano, and I was good, but I felt that it's right on me, and it wasn't good to me. But after this part of my life, I started to sing, and I started and played on weddings, and it was so good school for my vocal cords, and it was best school, I think, because it was a lot of time, and the middle of the night. I was so young, so I had to work with older than me, much older. So it was a good in short. But later it was a part of my life when I started to record my songs, and it was in a rock band from Poland. My father is a drummer, so we played together. It was cool, but I felt that I sang too heavy. So my vocal cord was in ruin. So I had to stop my career for 1 year. I hadn't talk. I hadn't sing. It was totally depressed, right? And after that, I back, and it was the best part of my life. And a lot of concerts, acoustic concerts, events, concerts for a lot of people. And later, the best of my concert, but the best of my performance, it was in Canada, and I'm so happy that I could be there.
Well, we were very happy that you could come as well. Sorry, you said your song was heavy. What did you mean by that?
Yes, because I had a bad technique. Right now, I'm during my vocal course because I want to be a vocal coach, and I want to get my certificate. Today, I get my exam, so I think that coming soon, I will be a vocal coach. My technique is better right now, and I feel that my voice is strong, but I don't feel heavy energy here, bad energy, and too much strong.
Well, the one thing that I have to say about you is not only do you have a spectacular voice, but you've got incredible presence on stage. When you're up on stage and moving around and dancing and gyrating and moving, and you just captivated the audience, and everyone really got involved and enjoyed the energy of your performance. So thank you for that. What about you, Alona? What's your story? When did you start singing? And I think you've done some sort of folk music, and then also maybe some rock and roll, and you said a little bit of.
No, I didn't. I don't know. Folk music? I never did folk music, Brian. Interesting, I think, to me at least, because when I was a little girl, all I wanted to do is sing,
Right.
and but at the same time, I had a strong, I guess, in mathematics. So I was, at the same time, I was studying and loving music. So what I wanted to say up to now, right now, math is so close to music, and music is so close to math, because actually music is subconscious counting, and receive pleasure when they listen to music, when they count, something like that. I don't remember who said those words, but these words are very interesting and very wise. So actually, going back to my story, I guess all my life I've been singing. I don't remember when I started. I sang covers. I did cabaret music for many years in Canada, and then of course, I've been writing since I was, I don't know, 18, 17, my own music, my own lyrics. And actually, I have already, I finished writing another album. Some of the songs have already been recorded, arranged. So I'm working on the second album right now. So right now, the story between, I mean, my life, between my mathematics and my scientific life and my life as a musician. So when I go to teach students, and I feel that like as if I'm on the stage, as if I'm performing, but something different. But the feeling is so similar to be on the stage.
What? Come on.
I can't even describe how it is. And when I'm writing a scientific paper, it is like, but there's more to it. So when I'm writing a scientific paper with both my job and my singing, yes. So I guess that's my story. There's of course a lot more to it, but I don't want to go into details. So yes, in my life, always music is so close to mathematics. Yes.
Stephen said that he got this incredible energy from performing in front of 8,000 people at a concert. Are you telling me that when you're teaching a statistics course in front of a classroom of students, you get the same feeling as performing in front of 8,000 people?
So of course, there's a difference if you perform for 10 people and if you perform for several thousands of people. It's just a difference. The stage is bigger. The contact, the eye contact, even with a very small group of people, even with students, it's kind of the same thing. But when you think about just the feeling and giving, I guess it's all about giving, and that's how I feel as an instructor, course instructor, when I teach. It doesn't matter what it is, statistics, mathematics, it doesn't matter. I sing on stage. It's very, very similar. And I guess singing for many thousands of people, of course you have lights in front of you, you don't see anything. Of course there are differences, but I mean the feeling inside your heart when you do it, when you're giving, it's the same. So that's what I mean, Brian.
Well, that's interesting that you've got that feeling in front of your students, and I like that you enjoy writing your academic papers almost as much as writing songs. So that's very interesting.
It depends.
Now, Elise,
what I write, but yes, close.
Elise, you said that you're in a very special situation because you're with your boyfriend, who I think is a guitarist. Is that not correct?
Yes.
So is there something special about the combination between a vocalist and a guitarist?
It's something special between us because we are similar and we have a similar point of view, and we have a similar vision when we are in process, when we create, when we are composing. We are similar. So it's beautiful that we can spend, for example, a lot of days in the studio, and then we can play and sing, because I play the piano too. So, it's 3 instruments, and we have a band.
Well, I won't ask Lona and Stephen about the combination of vocalists and guitarists, but I think it is interesting that that often see different vocalists and different guitarists connect, and that's probably the same as different skaters that connect, and different in other occupations where different people that spend a lot of time together connect. We're going to take a break and for messages and come back more with Eliza, Alona, and Stephen from Poland and Hungary in just a minute. And I'm going to ask them if they've got a message for the world in our concluding segment. Stay with us. Well, welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960 AM. I'm on the radio 960 AM here in Mississauga every Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock. And you can also get me at online at www.saga960am.ca, and or you can get my podcasts and webs and videos on my website, briancrombie.com. I've been joined tonight with three people that I've loved to hear and watch perform. Stephen Varga, who's in Budapest, Hungary. I've seen on numerous occasions, both in my backyard performing, as well as at, I guess, two different establishments downtown Toronto where he's done an incredible job on the guitar. Alona, who I've seen also perform in my backyard, actually around a campfire one year, as well as I had the honor of hosting one of your Christmas concerts at one point in time, which I thought was fantastic. And Elise, I heard you perform at a Colors of Love concert, and I thought you were spectacular. As I said, the energy that you showed up on stage and your vocal talent was wonderful. Elise, if people are interested in your music, where can they find you? And have you got a message for everyone?
I have two messages, right? First message is to you. So thank you for invitation. I'm so happy that I could be there, and I miss you so much. And I hope that soon we will meet again. And I miss your scrambled eggs with bacon so much. So second message is to everyone. I wish you the best time with your family, the closest friends, and I wish you stay home, and I wish you a lot of health, a lot of love, a lot of good music, and I don't know what should I say more. You can find us, Elise, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel. We have 3 channels: acoustic, international, and Polish channels. So we can find us.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. Stephen, what about you?
Thank you.
How can we find you? And do you have a message for everyone?
Well, right now you could just find me on Instagram. That's the only place at the moment. My website is down under construction. And my message would just to be, be kind and be smart and sensible, and will endure. Just time.
Kind and smart, and will endure. And how about you, Alona? Where can we find you and your music? And do you have a message for everyone?
So you can find me on Facebook, Ilona Anna Kowalik. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and a message for everyone as well. First of all, thank you, Brian, for having me tonight. It's been fun. Thank you. And the message I'd like to actually, I'd like to read the chorus of the new song that we are going to record. And the title of the song is The Power in Us. And that's the message to everyone. So the power in us where love lies within, power in us where everything begins. We are here and now to create a better world, hand in hand, every living soul.
That's beautiful. The power is in us, probably now more than ever, because the best way to stop this infection from growing is social distancing. And if we don't do it, if we're not willing to stay at home, and you've all probably seen the memes on social media about our grandfathers were asked to go to war, and we're asked to sit on our couches, and are we up to it? And so it is up to us. But I also think the other thing that's interesting, and I did a show that I sent on to each one of you to take a look at with a bunch of my classmates from university from around the world, and now I'm doing the show with each one of you. I think that what that means is that we don't have to be socially distant. we have to be physically distant, but we don't need to be socially distant. We should reach out. I actually had an opportunity to actually do a show with my mom. My mom is an art history major, and she's a docent at the National Gallery of Art here in Ottawa, in Canada. And I did a show with her on art appreciation. And you know what? It was wonderful to spend some time with her on Zoom, on Facebook, and FaceTime, and record her ideas for posterity about what she thought about art. I guess the other thing that I'd like to leave everyone with is each one of these individuals is unbelievably creative. And I think that Ilona said it best, that we've got to take this opportunity to be creative. And Elise, you talked about lots of music. I've actually, it's been interesting. I've had the music on in my house, in my home office, nonstop. And so it is a time for music. And Stephen, it sounds like you've had some real benefits coming out of the 6 months of self-inflicted isolation. But it's true. I think that everyone does find some secrets to life when they have some time alone and they go inward and they think about what's important in life. And so I wish that to everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960 AM tonight. Come back tomorrow, every night, Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock on Saga 960, or catch me on www.saga960am.ca and or on my website, briancrombie.com. Thanks to Stephen, Elise, and Ilona from Budapest, some city in Poland. I've got no idea how to pronounce it, and Krakow, Poland. So thanks for everyone for joining me. Good night.